Alright. Well, it's no surprise that I like Deltarune. I mean, look at my videos. And no, I don't like Deltarune because of the views. I do this for fun. I swear. Anyways, this series has a ton of great characters, but today there are two that I really want to focus on. Now, I did put up a poll on my community tab asking which of these characters you like the most, Sans, Jevil, or Spamton. And the results may shock you. Nah, I'm just kidding. Of course Sans won. Anyways, I took a look at that poll and realized that Jevil and Spamton's votes were actually quite close, and I do know that most people just voted for Sans, but that's besides the point. So today, I'm just going to be comparing the two and prove objectively which is better. I'm just kidding again. As always, this is just my own opinion, so if you want to prove my opinions wrong, leave a comment below, or leave a comment saying how right I am. I just heard comments are good to boost the algorithm, so I think anything would be good. So, by all means, leave a comment saying how much better Sans is than any of these others. Anyways, I'm going to be going over a few different categories and giving each of them points depending on who I prefer in said category. And if you think that sounds exactly like those YouTube shorts comparing the two characters, then you are absolutely right. Anyways, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, this one was a really hard pick. Both character designs are incredible, with each character perfectly fitting in their own respective dark worlds, while at the same time giving off this energy that there's just something off about them. I love Jevil's design, as not only is it a good design in general, but it also has quite a few references behind it. He was the Kingdom's Jester, which is obvious in his clothing, he represents a Jack-in-the-Box, and he represents the Joker card, which fits with Chapter 1's theme. Although I do love his design, I love Spamton slightly more. I just like how those red cheeks represent like a marionette because he's being controlled by strings. I also like how his outfit is heavily implied to be an imitation of Swatch's, the Queen's head butler. I also don't know why, but Spamton's design is just so much more memorable to me than Jevil's. In fact, when doing research for this video, I had to actually look up Jevil's design while Spamton's was very clear in my own head. So this round goes to Spamton. Now, of course, a big reason why both of these guys are memorable is because of their fights. Both fights are extremely fast-paced with intense bullet patterns on each of them. Spamton's fight is genuinely accelerating, and it brings back that yellow soul mechanic from Undertale, which was genuinely a pleasure. Minotaur X was one of my favorite bosses in Undertale. Jevil's fight was also incredible, with him bouncing around the screen, throwing sickles, spades, hearts, and an entire freaking carousel at you. But what truly makes this fight memorable is his final chaos attack, which is still, in my opinion, the greatest attack thrown in the series. But in the end, I had to give this to Spamton, because not only was his fight fun, but the themes within it are amazing as well. Knowing that this battle is between two puppets trying to fight one another in an attempt to free themselves from their strings makes it so good, and that's why I have to give it to Spamton. Alright, I know Spamton has multiple themes, but for this one, I'm going to be focusing on Big Shot because it is my personal favorite. This one was probably the hardest category to decide on because I love both the World Revolving and Big Shot. Both are genuinely incredible and I listen to both of them regularly. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd very narrowly pick the World Revolving because I just feel like that one just fits Jevil's character so much. It's so energetic, and that's why I have to give this round to Jevil. There's no really any personal thing behind it. I'm not a music expert. So that's just kind of my reason. Alright, this round is going to be who would win if the two decided to ever fight each other. Man, I feel like this round title wasn't as specific as it should be. Now I know I put Spamton higher than Jevil on my Deltarune tier list, please go watch it if you haven't, but although I feel like Spamton is more powerful, Jevil just has a clear-cut counter to Spamton. Spamton, although incredibly strong, can be defeated instantly if one were to cut his strings off. Jevil's main weapon of choice is his Devil's Knife, a cutting weapon that could easily tear through Spamton's strings. Not to mention, Jevil has a clear speed advantage, moving so fast that after images appear around him. So, in the end, if the two were to fight, I feel like Jevil would take this. Jevil and Spamton both have very interesting backstories, and despite how different in design these characters are, they have something quite similar between them. Both of them encountered a strange figure in the past that caused them to both go insane in different ways. With Jevil, he begins to view the world as a game, not caring about anyone and viewing them as nothing more than participants in said game, which causes him to be locked away. Spamton, on the other hand, was a failing businessman who tried his hardest to become a big shot. One day, he encountered a strange man who began helping him. This led to Spamton becoming rich and obtaining many sales. Soon after, the man who aided Spamton vanished, and because of this, Spamton lost all his sales along with his home in the Queen's Castle. Because of all of this, he had to result in taking refuge inside of a dumpster. Both of these characters have amazing backstories, and I can't really rank one over the other. Both in some way tie back into the player. Jevil with his view on the world as nothing but a game, and Spamton with his knowledge of Chris being controlled by an outside force. So for this one, I'm gonna have to make it a tie. This is in no way a reason to make the scores tied so I can make the last round of this video most important. Definitely not. Alright, time for the most important round. The one where I decide which one is better. Keep in mind that I do love both of these characters, and this is merely my opinion. Anyways, without further ado, round 6 is... Alright, time for the most important category. Which of them is more memorable? Both are exceptional characters, but when it comes to which is more memorable, it has to go to Spamton. Although Jevil is an extremely memorable character, his role in the story is nothing more than a secret boss and a doorway to the darker side of Deltarune that could possibly be expanded in the future. Spamton, however, is a character that plays a present role within Chapter 2, being both a secret boss in the regular route and a final boss in the Snowgrave route. The difference between the two is that Spamton is definitely more popular due to his screen time being vastly larger than Jevil's. That doesn't even go into the fact that people spent thousands of dollars during the Spamton sweepstakes, showing how much popular Spamton is if Toby Fox made him the figurehead of this charity. So with this final round, Spamton takes the win. Although Jevil's screen time and memorability is a lot smaller than Spamton's, hopefully we get to see both of these amazing characters return and maybe even interact. For now, however, I hope you all enjoyed the video and I will see you all later.